Okay, welcome. First, we would like to hear a little presentation about yourself and your group, your name, and how long you've been in action, and what you're working for and with.
Okay, my name is Uta Gabay, and I'm originally from Germany, but I'm already more than 20 years in Israel, most of that time in Jerusalem. I have founded a school, a spiritual school called Heichal, a Center for Universal Spirituality in Jerusalem. It's a non-profit organization that works for right human relations in Jerusalem, on the personal level and also on the societal level. We are actually a school of meditation mainly. We have developed our own curriculum from a beginner's meditation through all kinds of courses that are based on meditation, like
is it
sense
built
of self.
Is it built up like a sequence? You start with this?
Yes.
Okay.
It's very sequential. We have a whole year of beginner's meditation, then we have another course that is called Sense of Self, that has the aim of helping the student to come into what is called integrated personality. After that we have this 7 rays course. It's all 1-year courses. White magic.
Okay.
Yes, and we also have a course that deals with building a bridge between Judaism and universal spirituality. That is specifically close to our heart.
So that aims specifically at the religious Jews?
Jews that are either secular or religious, yes, and it is of course very interesting to have both these, or a whole spectrum of people who are identified more or less with their religion, with their race, with their nationality as Israelis, and we are creating an atmosphere, group atmosphere, that is safe enough for people to really share their real feelings, with all the pain that is involved, with all the fear that is usually involved with this. And in the group field, each one can feel comfortable to be who they are and to explore what is identification, with what am I identified, what is it to be Jewish, where am I Jewish, where am I not Jewish, what does it mean, these parts that are not Jewish, is that okay not to be all Jewish, and all these questions come up there.
Okay. How many people, I mean, is there like a big interest in Jerusalem for that kind of group work?
No, for this specific group work with the Jewishness, it's very experimental, and it needs a certain courage for people to investigate these questions. So it's mainly students who have been around for a while with us and have done some meditation training, and have discovered some sense of self that within the context, or from the reference point of that sense of self, one can observe more. What is Jewishness? What is of this identification? Okay,
so you're right in the middle of one of the great explosive areas on this planet, physically and astrally, and all sorts of ways. I understand you have a speciality. The seam line? Yes,
yes, this is, for example, one of the seam lines between the religious and the secular Jewish people, and between Jews and non-Jews. And we are also, in the last 3 years, we have started to work with the seam line between the Palestinians and the Israelis, the Jewish people.
Okay.
So we have a class. We have just finished a 1.5 years program for Jewish and Palestinian women, empowerment through meditation.
Okay.
And
wow.
it was a very rich experience to have people over the seam line, across the divide, actually sitting together and closing their eyes in each other's presence. That's not self-evident at all in our place. And actually sharing sacred experiences
Yeah.
of the meditation.
Yeah.
And we wanted to address also the differences between us, but what actually happened in the class, it was very interesting. A group field has been built where people could experience that part of themselves that is actually beyond their personal identification.
Uh-huh.
So in a matter of a few classes, it had become a non-issue to speak about who am I as a Palestinian in the presence of an Israeli and so on.
Okay.
So actually,
So even there, you found out that you were able to guide people to a place where it wasn't the differences, it was the thing that we have in common
Yes.
as humans. Okay.
it was much easier than we thought.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, with a little bit of in the end, at the last meeting, we did an evaluation of the class, and we discovered then, wait a minute, we did not speak about our differences. That was supposed to be part of that group.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yes, the people became more and more interested in actually, I could say, the technology of meditation, of this phenomenon that, wow, I can go beyond what I thought I am.
Yes.
So the whole focus was on that, and we totally forgot about who is this other person? Is this a Palestinian or is it a Jewish person?
Okay.
It lost its relevance.
Okay. It's interesting that you mentioned that it was a group of women.
Yes.
So do you work with the sort of, because many of the problems in this area and around the whole world could be said to be masculine problems in a way.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you work specifically with feminine spirituality?
It happens so that not many men are attracted to our work.
No.
But here specifically, because it is a sensitive seam line, we specifically targeted the women.
Yeah.
Both because it's more easy, and also because the women need more support. And we need this feminine, this divine feminine has to come out.
Yeah.
This is the force that we need to strengthen in everywhere in the world, but in our area maybe specifically.
Absolutely, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's really frontier work. Do you get, and pioneering work, do you get a lot of resistance? I'm not just talking about external resistance, but also internal resistance.
Internal meaning subjective forces?
Yes.
We do specifically when we are dealing with Jewishness. What is Jewishness and what is right relation with the rest of the world? I'm doing also work not only in Jerusalem, but also traveling and going to conferences and giving lectures about what is Jewishness and how can we rightly relate to it.
Yeah.
And anti-Semitism and pro-Semitism and how this clashes and all this. And around this, there is quite some murky stuff around that we could call the world Jewish glamour. And when you pierce into this, then the forces come up, and there are all kinds of opinions, of course, strong opinions against and for, and this whole dynamic, this whole polarization is when you just touch it lightly, even it's like dynamite.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, and then the main important thing when you deal with such a dynamite is harmlessness.
Yes.
So we again and again we do our work in ourselves. Where do I still have a bias? Where am I judgmental? And working this out in ourselves.
See, that's very interesting, because the place you're at, the work you're doing, you need a first-grade impulse in order to stand in that. But I'm very interested in hearing you say that you also need harmlessness.
Yes.
So it's not to provoke too much.
Yes, and our group is a second-ray group.
Yeah.
With a fourth-ray personality. So a lot of our work is second-ray, is right relations, really helping people. Also, of course, first of all, ourselves. What is right relation? We use the symbol of the Vesica Pisces to symbolize right relations. Each one is a circle in themselves, and how do we rightly relate?
Yeah.
And this the line connecting or going through the circles, this is the heart line. So even if we are not getting it together on the personality level to be very close or to merge a bit, then still the heart line is connecting us.
Yeah.
And that's what we focus on, the impersonal. On the impersonal level, we
Yes.
can hold this heart line even if we have differences.
Okay.
So working with this, we don't run so much into local resistance.
No?
At this time, because we are very careful.
Okay.
And I guess that as we go, we will bring more, also the first ray into it, the cutting truth. But people can hear the truth only when it comes on the wings of love.
Yeah.
So we are preparing the ground with love, and then we bring through as much truth as this bridge of love can carry.
Wow, that's fascinating. I can't help also to be fascinated by the fact that you have a German background. So you're working in this field between Judaism, Islam, Israel, Palestine, and you have a German background. So there must be, I mean, you as a person in a way, or as an energetic field, in a way carries quite a lot of old wounds, old conflicts that must be healed. Do you experience that?
I personally, I am not taken up on my German background.
No.
It almost never happened for
No.
me. So I wonder also, what is this? Why did I have to be born as a German to do this work in Israel?
Yeah.
And so far I cannot really see a lot of charge in this.
Okay.
It's more charge between Christianity and Judaism. It was for me. I had to work with my Christian background to do exactly this process of disidentifying myself from my childhood belief, to see who am I and what is this, what kind of a thought form is Christianity, and do this process of disidentifying from it. And it was a painful process for me for several years, so that I can understand what is it for a Jew or a Muslim to perceive themselves as a human being beyond being a Jew or a Muslim. It takes a certain inner muscle to do this and become part of a greater whole. Specifically in Israel, where everything is so uptight about identity. Do
you think there's a possibility that you might be, in a way, carrying in, not on a personal level, but on a collective level, a part of the German soul? I mean, the collective German soul, and sort of bringing that into the healing process?
I would. I certainly want to think so. And DK said that it's a family quarrel between the Jewish people and the Germans.
And nothing is worse.
Yes,
he said
nothing is worse. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, fascinating. I would like to ask you. This is global work already, of course, but it's based in a local area. Being part of the WSI, how does that affect your work, if at all?
Yes, it does. In the WSI, when so many groups come together, what is for me one of the main benefits is that we can explore together the technology of meditation, of our subjective work, of group work. So seeing how it works in this diverse and unified group, and exploring together the laws that go into group work, is very nurturing for us, bringing it and into our local work and experimenting with it.
Some of the other groups mentioned that it was a great inspiration for them to know that when they were working subjectively with the Middle East problems, that there was a physical group anchored there. Does it work the other way for you as well?
Yes, definitely. And we are doing our best to become a good physical anchor. We feel that because we are attracting all this attention, because we are perhaps the only one, the only esoteric group in this area, it's a lot of energy comes our way, and it demands of us to learn how to anchor it, how to ground it. So this is again thing of technology.
Yeah.
I'm very preoccupied lately
Yeah, yeah.
with this thing of making the work more precise,
Uh-huh.
learning the laws that go into it,
Mhm.
and doing this work.
Okay.
Mm.
So you have a fifth-rate interest in
Yes,
these things. Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Is there anything you would like to add that you want to be on the webpage in terms of a personal project or that you haven't already said?
One thing that I am also, that we are, we could almost say, forced to do with the esoteric teachings, is to translate them into a language, not only Hebrew as a
Yeah.
language, but also conceptually into a religion-neutral language.
Mm-hmm.
It was for me also a pretty painful process to understand after several years that the Alice Bailey teachings, that for me they are universal teachings,
Mm-hmm.
their language is not so universal.
No.
When you try to come from this background and implement something of this teaching in Israel, you become aware how not universal they are in their
Yes,
language.
yes.
It's a Christian language. It comes from a Christian background.
Yes.
So again, this work of taking taking the esoteric teaching that comes through Alice Bailey and bringing them through our own, neutralizing them
Yeah.
through our own experience and
Yeah.
bringing them out in a fifth ray way.
Yeah, yeah.
This fifth ray is also
Yeah.
in terms of language
Mhm.
very important.
Okay,
To have the language as scientific as possible.
okay. And clean it in a way from
Clean
old
it,
religious.
yeah, yes,
Okay.
yes. This whole mystical approach.
Mhm.
I used to be much more of a mystical person,
Mhm.
but it somehow doesn't work
No.
in Israel, in this very six-ray milieu.
Yeah.
A fifth-ray approach is the right way.
Okay.
So we leave at the side anything that has to do with religion. We try a little bit to deal with Kabbalah
Yeah.
and the more universal, or the more esoteric aspect of
Mhm.
Judaism, and also Sufism
Yeah.
from the Islamic side. But our sense is it's more effective, and it's safer also.
Yeah.
To go the scientific way, the fifth ray way.
Okay.
Mm.
Thank you. That was a very interesting interview.